Good morning, everyone. It is a first alert weather day because of a winter storm moving in, and we have breaking first alert traffic. We've been updating you on this all morning. Take a look here. This is I-41 at Ashland Avenue in Brown County, and what you see on the left there is a semi-truck trailer entirely across the northbound lanes of 41. Obviously a major problem. Thousands of cars go through that area every day. So we have these slippery conditions, and now this is an added wrinkle in the morning commute. They're asking people to exit at Shearing and then take the frontage road up to Ashland and get back on I-41 that way. We want to get more information on this crash. Kristen Allen is right there. She has the latest on what's happening.
We are right by that frontage road, and now this time in the morning we are starting to see more traffic come through this frontage road as they are exiting, and traffic is picking up for the morning commute. I'll step out of the way so you can get a look at that semi trailer that has tipped over. You can see it's up there on 41 northbound here, which was directly behind me. Some of the emergency responder crews have left. We've seen some fire trucks that have left. There's mostly squad cars, and we did see some equipment arrived that looked like it would be taking away the trailer. It hasn't pulled up directly to the trailer yet, so I'm not sure exactly when that will happen, but the road has been closed for a little while now. We're unsure when it may open back up this morning. Also unsure if there are any injuries or what caused this crash. We will continue to try to get more details and bring you the latest updates as we learn them. For now, though, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon for a look at your first alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Our first alert weather day continues as snow is arriving for your morning drive. Right now, it is light to moderate on first alert Viper Max. And as we get a little bit closer here, Door County down the lake shore, snow, but maybe a little bit of rain mixed in near Manitowoc and Two Rivers. There's a little bit of a lull in the snow over top of Lake Winnebago, but you go from Oshkosh and west, the snow picks up in intensity. It is generally light and moderate, and more snow is going to be streaming in from the south and west as the day wears on. So the National Weather Service is going to continue a winter storm warning through tonight in the white shaded counties across eastern Wisconsin. Most of us will get 4 to 8 inches of wet snowfall, but maybe more south and east. Isolated totals down towards Manitowoc and Sheboygan could approach 10 inches. So periods of snow, lighter in the morning, heavier in the afternoon and evening, and that's when northeast winds could be gusting up around 40 miles an hour. So the visibility will be poor. Driving home from work later today with snow-packed roads, allow for extra travel time if you have to get behind the wheel. Temperatures will hold in the lower half of the 30s, a high of 34 degrees. And with this winter storm coming through today, we want you and your family to stay safe. Download our free WBAY First Alert Weather app for your phone and for your tablet. That way you stay in the know on what Mother Nature is going to throw in our direction. Let's go to Emily Roberts, who's live on the roads in the Fox Valley.
Good morning. Be ready to hit some slick spots if you have to leave the house today. Take a look at this. We're driving north on 41 just past Richmond Street, and the lanes are mostly just wet. And of course, you can see both lanes are drivable right now. Always good news, but it's important to be cautious because they are so wet. There is a good amount of speeding up and slowing down as more cars get on the road, so very important to be mindful of that. I'm noticing more plows and salt trucks out just within the past half hour, working to keep you safe today, not just on these highways, but out in the towns, out on the city streets. And the flakes are falling. You can see that this is pretty wet stuff that is making that road a little bit slick, but the snow is melting for the most part right when it hits that car windshield. This morning I've seen it all, roads with almost no snow sticking like right here, but also some roads completely covered, especially in those less frequently used turn lanes and in those neighborhoods, and in some areas it could be difficult to see the dividing lines, so be ready for that. It really is a great day to just stay off the roads and build a snowman or grab a cup of hot chocolate if you can. Keep it right here with Action 2 News this morning for the latest road conditions before you head out the door. Back to you.
Breaking news this morning, a major traffic incident on I-41 in Brown County. Catherine Braccio and Kristen Allen have been on top of this all morning long. And Catherine, we'll start with you. What are you seeing?
So this first alert traffic incident, we've been following this for hours. We want to show you our DOT camera, I-41 at Ashland. You can see here the traffic going away from us, that's southbound, but the northbound side of I-41 is entirely blocked because of a tipped semi. The trailer is completely across those northbound lanes. And you can see all of the flashing lights, tons of emergency personnel there working to move this trailer. And for now, they're having folks folks exit at Shearing, head up the frontage road and get back on I-41 at Ashland. So this is just one of the areas that it could be slippery this morning. The DOT is saying we have slippery stretches all over northeast Wisconsin, and the road conditions are going to deteriorate as we go through the day as this winter storm continues to move in. Right now we want to get another vantage point of that semi-truck with Kristen Allen. She is there live.
And traffic is definitely starting to pick up this morning as more cars are having to exit the highway and travel the frontage road, that's where we are right now. And if you take a look here behind me, you can see exactly where that tipped over semi-trailer is. You can see the flashing lights of quite a few first responders that are still on scene here this morning. There is equipment that they have brought in to try to remove that trailer out of the way of the highway. Obviously not an easy process to do that, taking some time here. We're unclear of how long this may be closed this morning, but it has been closed for several hours. We'll continue to update you as we learn more. For now, let's go live to Emily Roberts, who has a look at road conditions. Emily?
Good morning. Be mindful of slick spots if you need to leave home today. We are driving on Highway 96 in Kaukauna toward Little Chute right now, and there are some significant changes just in the last 15 minutes. Snow is really starting to stick on some roads in the area, getting more and more slushy as more commuters hit the road. This morning I've seen it all. Roads with almost no snow sticking, very wet, to some more slushy like how Highway 96 is starting to look, and some completely covered with snow, especially in those less frequently used turning lanes and as you move closer to neighborhoods. In some of those areas, it's also difficult to see the white and yellow dividing lines on the road, so very important to be mindful of that as you head out the door. Be cautious and look out for folks speeding up and slowing down because these conditions can change very quickly. It's really a great day to stay inside and build a snowman or grab a cup of hot chocolate if you can. Back to you.
A winter weather wallop hits northeast Wisconsin, a 1-2 punch of snow and wind, snarling traffic and prompting warnings.
The evening commute is going to be rough. I know that already.
Crews across the area keeping roads and runways clear. For some, it's welcome work.
Hopefully it keeps snowing. If it stays warm, that's great, but snow is good too.
Team coverage of this first alert weather day tops Action 2 News at 4.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Brittany is on assignment. We are in the midst of a snowstorm enveloping the area. A few inches have fallen so far today, with more accumulation expected as we head into the evening. Action 2 News keeping you informed with team coverage as the storm swirls across northeast Wisconsin tonight. Let's begin with meteorologist Keith Gibson in the First Alert Weather Center. Keith.
Jeff, it took a while to get that snow to really start sticking, but we've dropped the temperature a little bit. You can see in downtown Appleton, we have some snow accumulating on the roads, 34 degrees. And we've also had those snowfall rates increase as we've gone throughout the last couple of hours. This is First Alert Viper Max, and we have a pretty good snow band now setting up through the Fox Valley over towards the lakeshore. Lighter amounts of snow, but still some snow north to the north and west of the Fox Valley. And this is building in from the south, and there's even more snow down here across southern Wisconsin and Illinois. So this whole band will be with us as we go throughout the course of the late afternoon into the evening hours. Things will be improving weather-wise after midnight, but over the next couple of hours we'll have wind and some snow. The status report so far about 1 to 3 inches of slushy snow. An additional 1 to 4 is still possible this evening and during the overnight hours. A lot of that occurring over the next 6 to 8 hours prior to midnight. So here's predictors starting the clock at 5 o'clock, and we'll have that snow around, gusty wind too, around 40 miles per hour right now. This is 10 o'clock from the Fox Valley to the lakeshore. Still a pretty good chance for some snow and wind. But then after midnight, the snow is done and temperatures will start to cool down below freezing after midnight late tonight. So we'll have to watch out for a slick Wednesday morning commute. Temperatures right now around freezing or 33 or 34. Just cold enough to get that snow to stick on those highways right now. Our wind gusts now in Green Bay and Oshkosh around 40, and it will be blustery all evening and all night long. And all that pink from this DOT map shows those slippery roads across the region. More in your full forecast coming out.
Keith, thanks. We continue our team coverage on the storm with Emily Byer. She's live on the road.
Hi, Jeff. We are just getting onto the highway here. You can see right now we actually have encountered several slick spots here. We're just getting on I-41 southbound here at the Mason Street exit. You can kind of see as we're getting into this, visibility is really starting to decline here, and it looks further up. It looks like it's going to continue to get worse, unfortunately. So you want to make sure that you're slowing down. Speed limit, we're just on the ramp now, kind of gearing up, going about roughly 35 miles per hour. I can see the cars ahead of me going pretty slow too. Even the traffic on the highway going at a steady rate so far, but we're all a little hesitant. It's probably going roughly 50 to 60 miles per hour here on the highway. I do want to remind you, we know the plows are out, but just so you know, give them room to work. Last year there were nearly 300 crashes involving snow plows in the state of Wisconsin. That was according to the DOT. So you want to make sure that you're giving them room to work. They're going to continue to lay down salt and prepare that, keep that brine going. But and actually, as we're gearing up here, we can see some of the signs even are just covered too. So we're going to continue to update you throughout the evening, but for now we'll send it back to you.
All right, Emily, thanks. And our team coverage continues now with Brittany Schmidt taking a look at residential roads right now in the Green Bay area. Brittany.
Hi, Jeff. We know that the highways are the main priority right now, as well as the arterial roads here in the city of Green Bay, to make sure that people can get to the hospital or that emergency crews can get to people who may potentially need help. But here on the secondary roads, you can see as this car kind of drives by me, snow has kind of built up here in the last half hour as that slowing down there for that man to cross the street there safely. But we do know that eventually these roads will be a priority. It's just going to take some time here for, oh, he's picking them up. There you go. That way he doesn't have to walk in this snow and this swirling wind around us. So for events like this, though, you know, the city utilizes 90 units throughout the day if needed. Their crews will work 16 hours with 4-hour breaks. But they are hoping to avoid that by keeping up where they can. We showed you the pre-treated roads with the brine yesterday. During the lulls today, they whipped out the salt to keep the bond up on the road to prevent the snow from sticking too much. These are pretty good temperatures right now, as Keith was saying, so that the salt is working in real time on the roads. However, the snow will continue to fall. So the biggest message here is to give the plows room to do their job. We know everyone wants to get home from work. It's understandable because you've likely been following our weather reports all day and are anxious to get out and get home, but it's important to take your time.
I think the biggest thing is just having patience. Now, whether that be on the road or whether that be waiting for the plow to come down your street when you're doing your driveway or your sidewalk. You know, obviously following the plows, you want to give them as much room as possible. They've got a lot of, they got a lot to take care of, a lot on their mind, you know, between mirrors and the controls on the plow and their spreader and, you know, traffic, pedestrians, people on bikes. So they got a lot going there to give them some room.
Crews are well aware that the commute home tonight is going to be rough. They're planning for it. They're out on the roads. They're doing their part, and they're asking you to do the same here tonight. Jeff?
Brittany, thanks. Continuing our team coverage now, Samantha Cavalli joins us live in the Fox Valley with conditions she's been seeing there. Samantha.
Right, Jeff, the wind has definitely picked up as I'm trying to not get blown over down here, but the snow has also picked up as well here down in the Fox Cities and the Fox Valley. Just trying from this morning, actually, not too many cars out and driving at this point, but we have seen crews. We just saw a crew go past us just moments ago here, treating the roads, the parking lots, and we also saw how the Appleton International Airport is treating its runways, and we actually got a chance to go inside one of those combo units earlier today. Take a look at this. Actually, inside the combo unit you can see crews cleaning both runways on the tarmac, and they'll continue to do so tonight until the last snowflake falls. Crews have been on 12-hour rotating shifts and since about 2 p.m. yesterday, and most flights have been able to get out on time. Jesse Funk with the airport tells me once the snow gets to about 1/4 of an inch high, combo units are out there cleaning. He says they make sure they are constantly clearing the runways for not only the flights going in and out, but also in case of diverted flights needing to land here unexpectedly. Drivers are also in talks with the control tower to know when planes are flying in and out to avoid collision. Funk explained how the runways are cleared as salt is bad for the airplanes.
In some of the areas we use sand. Otherwise we simply plow with our combo units is a plow to remove the snow and then a brush to get all the way down to the pavement. It's like a big rotating broom to get down to the pavement. And if we really do get into a situation with like freezing rain and something like that, we're not in that situation today. There is a de-icing liquid that we can put on the runway.
Well, Funk also tells me that alongside his crews, they work with crews from the Outagamie Highway Department as well. Tonight at 5, hear from the Highway Department about how you can get home safe from your evening commute. Reporting live in the Fox Valley, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.
It sure has taken a while, like we said, David, to get this thing going. Why now? Like you guys said, it was going to be later in the afternoon, but it sure looked like things weren't going to stick for a while.
Well, the wind coming at us out of a northeasterly direction, as it was earlier today, has a little bit of a drying influence, and that coupled with temperatures that got into the middle 30s did help keep any of the light snow that was coming down in liquid form once it hit the ground. It was falling as snow and then melting, and that as you get the plow crews out there, the brine, salt, all that stuff on the roads, it really did help manage conditions.
Clear and make those roads safe.
We have crews all across northeast Wisconsin right now to check on how certain spots in our viewing area are faring with this intense weather. We begin our live team coverage with Emily Byer, who's out on the roads right now. She joins us with the current conditions in Brown County. Emily.
Hi, Bill and Cammie. Right now we're traveling very slowly south on I-41. We know a lot of our viewers may take this route for work. We want to make sure we give you this real-time look. It's roughly 70 miles per hour here for the speed limit. We're going roughly between 35 and 45 is the highest that we've been able to kind of get to, which makes sense with these roads right now. They're very snow-covered, lots of slick spots, so you want to be watching for that. Another thing I do want to note, and you can kind of see here too, we've seen several vehicles with snow-covered windows, snow-covered mirrors, so be sure to take that time and wipe the snow completely off of your vehicle. That is for your safety and for other travelers out on the road. We do know there are some incidents too that are happening along I-41 as well. There's that one down in Outagamie County, that right lane closed due to a crash that's near the north ramp of County N. So we're going to keep heading south right now. We'll continue to touch base with you throughout the evening and bring you the very latest, but for now we'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Emily. Our team coverage continues now with Brittany Schmidt. She's taking a live look at residential roads in Green Bay. Brittany.
Hi, Cammie. Yeah, we're kind of stuck in this snowstorm. It feels kind of like a snow globe, so to speak, because the wind kind of switches direction, the snow kind of going all over the place. But if you look at the roads, it kind of just proves that the pre-treating that they did yesterday with the brine and then the salting early today when they had those lulls in the snow really does work. And we know the temperatures right now are really good for those. So that's the good news. But if you take a look at the roads kind of behind me and you're wondering why the street that you live on doesn't look quite like this here on West Mason and Oneida, it's because the residential streets here in the city are not the first priority with major snowfalls like this one. Priority goes to the highways and main arteries here in the city of Green Bay so that emergency crews can respond to potential emergencies. But rest assured, crews will eventually make it to your neighborhood. If needed, the crews will work 16 hours with 4-hour breaks, but they are hoping to avoid that by keeping up where they can.
Burnout with personnel, that we only have so many resources that we only have so many resources to fight these type of systems. So we're trying to do that balancing act of keeping our equipment on the road, keeping things open for emergency personnel, but yet making sure that our people are as well rested as they can be, so when they are here that they have they're doing the best they can for the community.
Because the snow is wet and it's heavy, we are noticing that it is sticking to road signs. It's sticking to the stoplights. It's sticking to a lot of areas. So when you're approaching intersections, just make sure you're watching and looking for stop signs. We did have a Action 2 News viewer kind of pull off safely and talk to us. He's a longtime car guy and he had some first alert advice for you. If you are skidding into an intersection, he says to put your car in neutral because it'll stop the wheels from spinning, and then push your brakes slightly. That is the best advice he could give you in these snowstorms. He's seen a lot of accidents. Visibility is dwindling. I can see, I would say probably about a block or two, but after that we know it's not going to get better. So if you have to be out, please be safe, give the plows time, and get home safely. We'll send it back to you, Cammie.
Brittany, thank you. You can tell the wind is whipping and the snow is whipping there. And as we head down to the Fox Valley, snow getting heavier as the evening progresses too. Let's go to Samantha Cavalli live with more conditions there. Samantha.
Right, Cammie. Yeah, the wind has calmed down just a tad from about 4 o'clock earlier, but the snow has absolutely picked up like you mentioned. But as the weather continues to change here in Outagamie County, the Highway Department is getting out more on the roads with its snow plows to help make your commute home safer. We spoke with the Highway Commissioner, Dean Steingraber, who he says that yesterday he and his crews were finishing up plans on Monday regarding this storm and finalizing the details, getting them ready for today. He tells me this morning crews were out plowing state and county highways and town roads. Pavement temperatures were high this morning, causing everything to melt. But now with the change in temperature, he says drivers should be more aware of the weather changes as driving conditions will continue to change throughout the night.
Plan, that I might have to go a little bit earlier to pick up the kids, or I might have to go a little bit earlier to get to work. Just be aware of that. Take it easy, go slow, seat belts, have your all of your stuff along with you. So it's some real basic common sense things that we ask everybody. Just be aware. We're in winter here and things change quickly.
Now, when it comes to the Highway Department, they also want to remind drivers to not crowd the plow. Make sure that you're giving them plenty of room to work on the highways and residential streets, kind of a little bit what Brittany touched on. Now, also for some of us, the snow isn't great, but for others, it's a way to bring in business.
We'll continue our team coverage now with Brittany Schmidt. She is live outside in Green Bay to tell us about conditions of the residential roads this evening. Brittany.
Hi, Cammie. We are still getting that snow globe effect here with the wind kind of going in all different directions every few minutes here. We're at one of the busiest intersections here in Green Bay. We're on the corner of Oneida and Military Street. And yes, it's a busy intersection, but I want to draw your attention to the streets. We've been out here for about a half an hour now, kind of just monitoring the situation. We have not seen a snow plow, but the streets here look really, really good. And that kind of pays tribute to the pre-treating that they did yesterday with the brine and then earlier today with that salt. It really does work. We know the temps are ideal for that stuff to work. So good news there. On the flip side, though, residential streets are taking a back seat because they are not first priority with major snowfalls like this. But rest assured, crews will eventually make it to your neighborhood if needed. Their crews will work 16 hours with 4-hour breaks to get the job done.
By Wednesday morning, when people go for their morning commute to work, that most things will be cleaned up in the city. Of course, we'll work, through the day to clean up anything that needs it, and we'll see what happens because there might be some more snow on Thursday, so we'll try to get the bulk of it off the road by the end of work day on Wednesday, and then, if we got to plow again Wednesday night or Thursday, we'll do so.
As we've been reporting all day, this is a wet, heavy snow, so it is sticking to a lot of things. I can see the traffic lights are covered in snow, the street signs are covered in snow, even stop signs that we've seen kind of on the residential roads are covered in snow. So if you are out and about, if you have to be out on the roads, please pay attention to that. And, Action 2 News viewer actually stopped safely next to us, and he's a car guy, and he kind of wanted to share some first alert advice with you. If you are coming to an intersection and you start to skid, he says the best piece of advice is to put your car in neutral to stop your wheels from spinning and then pump the brakes slowly to come to a stop. So that's his best advice because visibility isn't great. It's a little better here than it was a little further down on Oneida. But again, this is pretty well lit here and it could be a very different story in your neighborhood. So please, please, please be careful if you have to be out on the roads. Bill?